Our research topic considers how the College Football Playoff Committee is flawed and lets undeserving teams into the playoff due to subjective rules and unfairly applies certain rules to certain teams, but does not apply them to others. First, we will start with a clip of arguably one of the best head coaches in college football speaking about the committee after a big win against a highly ranked Tennessee team.
In a week when there's been a lot of conversation about your tough schedule, playing on the road, some of the struggles that you guys have had, but also some of the positive moments, what do you think you showed the committee tonight?
Well, I don't know, because I don't know what they look for. I really don't know what they look for anymore. So I would welcome anybody in that committee to come down to this league and play in this environment. So it's a tough place to play.
Kirby Smart, a highly reputed coach, describes how the committee does not have a set rubric on how to get into the playoffs, leaving the sport's own head coaches not knowing what they need to appease the committee.
Yes, Carson. This is a highly invidious because this causes the committee to unjustly apply rules to different teams and not apply them to others.
I agree, Trent. Another controversial matter surrounding the playoffs is the team's strength of schedule. Matt Hayes, a sports writer for USA Today, discusses how Indiana should not be rewarded for going against bad teams, as well as teams who beat elite competition should be able to advance to the playoffs.
No, Carson. No, you're not making sense. Teams that should be rewarded for good records. Because what's the point of playing the games?
Yes, but teams that play tougher competition should be rewarded. Look at Indiana. They don't beat a single ranked team at all.
What is this SEC bias?
This is why your wife cheated on you.
I can't control she cheated.
Jeremiah Smith.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Also, on the topic of cheating, the committee kept out a juggernaut, Florida State, who had an undefeated schedule. Hold on, sorry, I messed up the script. I was like freeballing that.
We can zoom on.
Also, on the topic of cheating, the committee kept out a juggernaut Florida State team just last year, despite not losing a single game. But now they want to let in teams that beat easier opponents just because of their record. Maybe showing how they apply rules to different teams. They let Alabama in because they beat tougher competition, showing how the committee is flawed.
That is a good point, Carson. That's a good point. All right, you can stop recording me now.
Harbor over to the right. Sellers in the pocket. Up in the pocket. Gonna run inside the 20. 10. Lenore Sellers going left side. 5.
Matt Hayes states that you can't expand the playoffs without expanding the consequences of losing throughout the season. I completely agree with him because some teams are getting off without losing to teams that suck. Ohio State only dropped 5 spots for losing to an unranked Michigan with a Make-A-Wish quarterback. SMU was even kicked out of the playoffs for losing to a Clemson team that was not even in the top 14.
It's even crazy that Indiana got in the playoffs without beating a single ranked team throughout the whole season. Wow.
With all this confusion about who is allowed in the playoffs and who isn't, it obviously caused many fans to be distraught, considering a lot of controversy regarding teams who deserved a spot more than teams like Indiana.
Exactly. My King Lenore deserved a playoff spot.
Yes, Trent, he sure did. Considering many teams like South Carolina only lost to highly ranked teams due to a bestial SEC schedule, which seems to put teams in a disadvantage to the committee, considering teams being lesser teams are easily getting to the playoffs.
Stop recording. And this seems to be a common motive by the committee. Nick Saban, arguably the best college football coach of all time, addresses how much an SEC schedule can innervate a team, and you need an extremely deep team just to get through a season.
Saban says, and I quote, "I really think playing in the SEC for over 20 years, when you have to go play Tennessee, then you gotta go play LSU, then that team that you play next, you may be more vulnerable to. And if you must have a very mature, competitive team that has a lot of depth to be able to play through all these circumstances, and it's very, very difficult." End quote.
And this is a great first-hand witness, considering Nick Saban coached in the SEC for 21 years.
Yeah, the committee should consider harder schedules because if teams can get into the playoffs by playing easier teams, schools will be discouraged to schedule harder games, which hurts the fans.
And the last glaring flaw of the committee is how they completely ignored Michigan's cheating scandal in 2023, but to account for other odd factors in past years. As USA Today author Dan Wolken describes, the committee had accounted for plenty of odd factors in the past. For example, in 2018, when committee chair Jeff Long was parsing a Stanford loss at Northwestern due to an odd kickoff time at 9 a.m., but wants to ignore Michigan's cheating and sign stealing in 2023.
Yes, this is a great point. The committee's job isn't just to look at data and schedules. They need to look at the bigger picture. And that goes with cheating, strength of schedule, odd kickoff times, and all things alike.
Obviously, the selection of the committees, obviously the selections of teams in the playoff currently is very flawed, and not even sports' own head coaches know what their team needs to make the playoff. All right.
1.
Yes, we need some type of change and fast. I call every person in this room, especially Will Scholes,
Bandwagon, name one Ohio State player.
to not watch the championship on Monday. If viewership is at a record low, the committee and the NCAA will have no choice but to realize what they did wrong and create some change.
A great act of civil disobedience, Mr. Please give me extra credit for this, is necessary for change. We need the Norse in the playoffs.
Amen.
Okay.
Hey, Shawty.